Oh, Pikachu! For the love of tiny Japanese robots! Hi, welcome back to the show. It's Reverend Sully, and you've come to my channel. Thank you so much. Please hit that like button and subscribe now while you still can. And I want to thank you so much for tuning in. This is part of an ongoing series and a lifelong love affair. I have a favorite mecha. A mecha. What's a mecha? A mecha is not the holiest of holy sites in Islam. We're not talking about that kind of mecha. What does mecha mean? In science fiction, you know I'm reading this from a wiki. That's right. A mecha or mechs are giant robots or machines, typically depicted as piloted and as humanoid walking vehicles. The term was first used in Japanese after shortening the English loanword mechanism or mechanical, but the meaning in Japanese is more inclusive. And roboto, or giant robot, is the narrower term. Fictional mecha vary greatly in size and shape, but are distinguished from vehicles by their humanoid or biomorphic appearances. Although they are bigger, often much bigger than human beings, different subgenres exists with varying connotations of realism. The concept of super robot and real robot are two such examples found in Japanese anime and manga. Real-world piloted humanoid or non-humanoid robotic platforms, existing or planned, also may be called mecha. In Japanese, mecha may refer to mobile machinery or vehicles, including aircraft, in general, piloted or otherwise. This is reading from the mecha. This is a mecha. This is one of my favorite mechas. This is Skull One. This is Skull One. Now there was Macross, Super Dimensional Fortress Macross. Super Dimensional Fortress Macross, which had 2 seasons and premiered in 1982. And I was a small child over here in America, so this was strictly in Japan. Over in 1985, this Macross animated series becomes season 1 of what we know as Robotech, the Macross saga. When it originally ran from October of 1982 until June of 1983. It had 36 episodes. And I was 12 years old when when Robotech premiered on channel 68 on the UHF dial on my television. Yeah. And it took me by surprise, and it was my favorite anime. Of animes growing up, behold, do you see the Argo right up there? AKA the space battleship Yamato. Well, I mean, I grew up with Star Blazers. I grew up with Battle of the Planets. You know, I grew up with Transor Z, and I had a giant Mazinga. It was a giant robot, a Japanese robot. Yeah, one of these mecha things, you know. But that's a giant robo. That's its own thing. But this is a mecha. I mean, this is transformable. This is a variable fighter, the Valkyrie of Macross. This is specific, the VF-1. And there are 4 variations, actually 5 variations of the VF-1. And this is the pilot. I mean the officer's version, the squadron leader's version. The squadron leader, only the squadron leader is allowed the VF-1S, and that has a quad cannon, 4 cannons, and this distinctive headpiece, and usually followed by the assigned number 001. Is it on there? You can see that? No, you can't see the 001. But I've had videos in the past where I've shown my other Valkyries. I'm a huge fan of these. I have this 1/100 scale Maximilian Genius, Max Sterling in Robotech. His wife Mira Purina, Mirmilia Genius. The Zentrani who micronized and they fell in love. This is a his and her kind of set. This is like one of my favorite romantic relationships in fiction. This is like one of them. Yeah, I love their story. It's a little, I hear that in later, and what was it, Macross 7, I guess? They get divorced, or is it Macross Delta? That they're divorced, but still working on the same superdimensional fortress, and their daughters fly the squadron or something. Well, okay, I got this one too. This is like the prize of my collection. This is a Skull 1. You can see that from the distinctive head. And you can see the 001 on the nose fin there underneath the pilot's cockpit, the canopy. You can see that. This is the VF-1S Strike Valkyrie. Ichijo Hikaru's version from the movie, the 1984 feature release movie Macross, Do You Remember Love? A 2-hour-long feature release movie, beautifully drawn, that condenses and adapts the 36 episodes, and wow, that's like 17 hours of story condensed into 2 hours, and they do a remarkable job. So by in Act 3 was shown our third Skull 1. This is the Skull 1. This is the leader of the squadron. And we know him as Rick Hunter, but in Macross he's Ichijo Hikaru. And we see him develop over the 3 acts of this movie too, the Macross Do You Remember Love movie. And because in Act 1 he's in a VF-1A, which has the 1 cannon and the square on the headpiece. Then later on we see him in a VF-1J, which is the lieutenant's, the junior officer's version. Literally, this head here, you get 2 cannons and a triangular view piece. It's very iconic, the VF-1J. And they were always in his distinctive colors of red, white, and black. And in the movie, only Skull 1 in your VF-1S had the ability to wear the Strike Fast Pack, the double-barreled cannon. That is canon! Yes. I've been in love with this fighter, this Robotech, this Valkyrie, since I seen it, as in middle school. I was 12 when I was turned on to Macross, to Robotech. 12. I never stopped. Boom. Is the mic? I'm going to drop. No, I'm not going to drop my mic. It serves me very well. Okay, then. Coming to the unboxing. Hi, everyone. We've come to our this came all the way from Hong Kong. This was on sale. It's my mother's son. My mother loves a bargain. It's not what you spend, it's what you save. And this thing was $100 off. We're usually retailing at about $230. $240. I got them for $140. Oof. Oh, so the fast pack is separate. Oh shit! What is that? Oh wow! There's things in here, little corner things, probably to stabilize the boxes. I see them now. Yeah. Okay, so we have a VF-1S and a fast pack. Oh, okay. This is a VF-1 fast pack armor, and it goes to a 1/72 scale. So this is bigger than the rest. This is a bigger scale. Valkyrie, hello. We have Skull 1, Roy Fokker's Skull 1, the original leader the original squadron leader, Roy Fokker, and it's fully variable. You get triple, you have Guardian mode or Jurwalk mode as it was in Japan, fighter mode, and Battloid mode or Battloid mode. It's Batroid or Battloid. See, this has the most original packaging. This is like a smaller version of like I think a 1 in 60 scale. I remember that one. Like those were out when I was a kid. And ooh, nice packaging. And here we go. Roy Fokker's Skull One. Now in the TV show Macross and Robotech Season 1, Roy Fokker dies and Rick Hunter inherits the role of Skull Leader and his big brother's Valkyrie. His big brother's Robotech. So Rick stops flying his red, white, and black VF-1J, and he starts flying the Roy's old ship, the one he dies in. Well, he didn't die in it. He got mortally wounded in it, and his plane took fire. He got hit, and he knew he was gone and a goner. And he spent the rest of the day hanging out with his girlfriend Claudia Grant, and and that was his story. It was very sad. And in the movie, Do You Remember Love? Skull One gets destroyed in Act 1, and that's the end of Act 1. And so with the fast pack, with the double barrel, and in Act 2 we see Max Genius in a blue VF-1S. No fastback because it was atmospheric. They were on Earth. So you're in Act 2, and the Melotroni is attacking Earth because the Macross finally showed up to save Misa Haise and Hikaru Ichijo. I like saying the Japanese names. But yeah, so I had a model, like two model, like when I was a kid, like you could. Action figures were hard to find. Plus, I was getting older and aging out of action figures too, like turning 13, turning 14. But we know it was perfectly acceptable. Model building. Yeah, plastic model kits and shit. That was so I got my fix of these little robots by making plastic model kits. And I had a Skull One. And it was fully transformable. You had to swap out some parts here and there, especially in Battloid mode. You had to take out the entire nose section and replace it with one that had the canopy blacked out, like here. Because using cartoon physics, there's it's a sheath that comes down when it folds over into over the canopy window. It's a beautiful fighter too. It's very reminiscent of the F-14. The mainstay of the U.S. Navy for like 30, 40 years or so in the late 20th century. And this is a very iconic kind of paint job as well. This was a fighter squadron on the USS Nimitz that was called the Jolly Rogers, and they had the skull and crossbones on their tail fins too, and the black and yellow color combination. I had a Tester's F-14 Jolly Roger. It was beautiful. That was, yeah, I had all the paints and I did it, that was a long time ago. Yeah. But yeah, here it is. It's an unboxing and we have, let's see, let's compare the scale. It's already head and shoulders bigger than the other one. And we're not even out of the packaging. But you can see that, the difference. This is a 1 in 100 scale. And this is a 1 in 72 scale. And this, this is, wow, this is pretty nice. And thanks for tuning in, anime fans, Macross fans, Robotech fans, Rick Hunter fans, Roy Fokker fans. Oh gosh, remember when Roy Fokker dies? You see that for the first time, and it's a cartoon. But it's a Japanese cartoon, and in hindsight too, nobody really noticed or called it out back then. But in Star Blazers and Space Battleship Yamato, dude, there's cataclysmic loss of life, especially in the opening montages when the Gamelon, bombs are dropping on planet Earth and just destroying entire cities in this, post WWW Japanese anime of the 70s. Let's see what we got here. We got the instructions. Yeah, see. Full triple transformation for ages. This is from Kits Concepts. Yeah, and this is what their Veritech looks like. This is what their Battloid looks like. This is beautiful. Wow, this is really nice. Oh, it's got a stand. Oh, cool. This is like never coming out of the box. And there are batteries because the bloody thing lights up in places. It does. I think it lights up on the gun, on the gun pod. It lights up on the fast pack engines. And maybe on the feet as well. I'm not sure. Well, I'll have to look in the instructions and stuff. We've got 3 sets of hands. We've got some, we've got 4 clusters of missiles for the wings. And these things transform pretty easily. There's only one way to, they got this down when it comes to a transformable Veritech. You know what I mean? There's just there's a patent on this shit, and but yeah, this will just go right into it, into a fighter plane mode. And the fast pack, it's for space. It's a little extra armor, and you get 2 big booster packs. Now this one has a special thing where it looks like you can expose the insides of the fast pack itself. Here, let's just stop the glare. So what the proper terminology for this type of Veritech armor is called the fast pack. Now the other one is called armored version, which has it's all missile pods, and you can only be in Battloid version, and but this is the fast pack, and this was made, it's because space is awfully big, and so you need some extra maneuverability, and armor, and the engine pods themselves are filled with missiles that come out of these 2 little things. So it's just like you have a whole compartment of missiles, and that's why in this Japanese only version you have the fast pack with the double barrel blaster. I mean, I saw that as a Japanese import in Newbury Comics here in Boston when I was a kid, back when Newbury Comics was just, they sold comic books and had back issues. And yeah, here we go. Wow. Very cool. Well, thank you so much for being part of my unboxing here. We did an unboxing of this officially licensed Macross Robotech, from Kits Concepts. It was this was $133 with $60 shipping and handling, but it got here within 3 weeks, all the way from Hong Kong, in perfect condition. And yeah, I mean, if that's what you're into, I mean, now's the time. Rob was right. Robert Meyer Burnett and Daz on their shows, Fully Articulate and Hot Toys. Did I do this wrong? I did this wrong. I hope you're all having a good laugh at home. I hope you're all going, no, you silly, it's the other way! Silly, Sully. Sometimes only more than a vowel separates the silly from the Sully. You know what I mean? Here we go. Oh boy, yay. So that's that. Another toy. No, it's not a toy, it's a collectible, and it's so cool. I have to find some space for it. Cool. That's that. Join the squadron. Now we have two Skulls 1. Is it two Skull 1s or are they Skulls 1? Yeah, now we have a tale of two Skull 1s. I got the movie version and the TV version. And that's all right with me. I like that. Thank you so very much for tuning in and enjoying this unboxing, having this geeky moment where I love being geeky. Big pop culture slant on this channel. We talk about comic books twice a week. We do a live stream on Sundays at 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern where we review the comic books that we read this week. And then on Wednesdays, we have a pre-recorded show, but we talk about it's New Comic Book Day. So we talk about what's on sale, what we're getting, what we're expecting, what we're looking forward to, and what may be in our pull list or not. Well, thank you so very much for tuning in to this Macross VF-1S Skull 1 Roy Fokker Robotech fighter unboxing. Very pleased with this, and it was the right price as well. And you can get, they have a lot of different designs. There's so many different other ones I want. They have Vermilion Squadron. It's a VF 1J and Ricks in red, white, and black. And then it's a VF-1As, two of them, Max and Ben, in blue and in that olive drab gray color. That olive color. And I've always wanted a Max, a VF-1A to go with this VF-1J. And I always wanted a Quadrillion Rao to go with this. I wanted to have a Max and Miria shelf, and that's a noble goal, and I just might happen one day because I found both of them. The Quadrillion Rao is a model I would have to assemble, and even though I was just gushing about that, it's been literally 40 years, since I built a model. So it's like maybe it's still in there. Maybe I can pull it off. It takes paint, practice, and and some newspaper to put down. That's what I remember. And liking the smell of that tester's glue. It's oranges. Stay away from that. Thank you so very much. God bless. Namaste. Good luck. We will see you again with more unboxings because I'm gonna get something else, probably something soon. All right. Cheers. Bye bye.